Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach.
And I'm Pepper.
And today we are talking about ranking five spooky games that we've recently played on Board Game Arena. Kind of because it's the spooky season, one could say. It's October, almost Halloween, and yeah, this video will be going out a week before kind of that final week in October. And yeah, these are five games. Not only are we going to talk about here and kind of give you our thoughts, but we're going to have a playthrough on each one of them next week, one a day. So Monday through Friday, you'll be able to see playthroughs of these if you are interested in those. So you can subscribe so that you can see when they come out. You can wait till Friday of next week so that you can just spend your whole afternoon watching us play five spooky games.
Yes. Just each day rewatch all of them.
Exactly.
Thank goodness. So how should we talk about these five spooky games?
Um, I guess I will start with my number five, and
Okay.
then you can say whether or not you agree with that or agree with what I say on it. I think.
Okay. And then should I
Uh,
give my ranking of that one or should I then just give my five? And we find out.
you can give your ranking of that one.
Oh boy. Oh boy. This is gonna be all over the place. So you get to do yours in order. Oh boy.
Well, I'll do my first one and then we'll swap to you, and then you'll do your lowest ranked one. Whatever
Okay.
that may be left over. So,
Okay.
yeah, I will start, and I'll say overall, this is an interesting group of games. I don't know that I have too many other games that I would say, even in my collection right now, that I'm like, oh, these are Halloween games. I think the one that kind of got me thinking Halloween games the most was when I played um, one we'll talk about later, I guess, so don't go in there. And that will not be the first one I talk about. So it kind of inspired this video a little bit, but otherwise, I, I wouldn't say the spook theme is necessarily like a medium to heavy Euro weight theme in
Yeah.
general. And those are the games I tend to like. So I feel like these, I kind of all of them, I'd probably need to maybe be in the mood to play.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
for me. But these
Yeah.
might be more Pepper style, so
They
maybe
might
take
be more.
his thoughts a little better than mine.
Yeah.
But
So
I'll
Zach
start
hates
with
hates
Ghost at
every
Home.
single one. Ghost at Home. That's a
That's my
big
number
surprise
five,
to me that that's your number five.
and yeah, this one is very much just very pure luck. We played this one a couple times and had I mean, it played the same way, definitely, but the way the game played out took a lot longer the first time than it did the second time. It just flew by the second time, and yeah,
Yes.
that is just 100% based on what cards you are getting. I don't remember if this one plays with more than two players, but my gosh, if it does, oh boy, it could be some really crazy stuff happening that would make it much worse. I think two players is about right because there's a lot of luck. There's some take to that, and at least at two players, it kind of feels like it's going back and forth versus the problem I have with some games when they have a lot of take that is it's like, oh, there's the leader. Let's all gang up on that one person, and then it's like, okay, well now they're down to pretty much last.
Yeah.
Because in this game you're trying to build this home with kind of layers building up, and the other players can kind of attack that home with ghosts. And if that happens, they clear one of your layers that you're working on, unless that other player has a cat in their hand, and then they can kind of fend off that ghost. Uh, but yeah, so it's really a race game, and sometimes you just don't get the cards you want because only certain cards can go on certain levels. Sometimes you just keep getting the same level and over, and you don't need it. Um, you can sometimes use those to light up to kind of help protect you from ghosts a little bit, but
Yeah.
sometimes you get a bad floor and it's only got like one power worth towards lighting something up, and just kind of luck of the draw a little bit. And I think that just it works best at two. I think without having actually played it with more, if it does go to more, I just think that would just be even crazier and have that problem, which would make it way lower for me. I think the two player, it's what I could stand because it's short.
Oh boy. And I could certainly stand this one. because this is not my number five. This is all the way up to my number four. Um, but I mean, what? These games are all very tight for me. We've replayed three of these at this time. I think if I'd replayed all five, it could maybe solidify some things, but I think the advantage of Ghost at Home for me, where like when I was going through it, I'm like, hey, there's no way this is number one, is it? But I'm like, I could see it meandering its way in there just for the mood of it and it being so quick and snappy and wild. But I'm like, it is very luck driven. You cannot be putting this number one. You got to put it where it actually belongs because for as many maybe crazy fun experiences there are with this, there can be really frustrating ones where you're just like continuing not to get the cards you need. Like you pointed out, a very heavy luck factor here. But I mean, I've had fun with both of my plays of it. So, I mean, I can't really attack it too much. It delivered the quick fun that I was expecting from the game. So,
Hmm, that's fair. I was fine with it. I don't know that I necessarily look to go back to that one.
yes, you don't know if you'd consider it fun.
Yes,
But then my actual number five. Do you have any clue? Do you have any clue?
I have an idea. I'm not gonna
Okay.
say it, but let's see if I.
Okay. So my number five here. It's very tough. It's very tough, but my number five ended up being Rest in Peace.
Okay, I was wrong.
He was wrong. He was wrong. There's a first time for everything. But
There really
yeah,
is.
Rest in Peace is kind of an auction game. Not really a lane battler, but a little bit of a lane battler. But yeah, you have like 10 different auctions that you're going to go through in order.
Two player
And
only.
yep, two player only. And so you're playing cards, numbered cards to each side of this. And I think you have identical decks of cards, but what you've drawn into your hand could be different. I think you have, so it's numbers one through six. You have one, six, and six ones, and it kind of, that's the pattern there. And you just kind of go back and forth playing cards at these locations that you are battling for. And the winner gets a token from that location, which is either red or yellow. And if a player wins three red tokens, they win the game immediately. If they win four yellow tokens, so more of them, but takes more to win. If you get four, you win the game immediately. So there's a couple instant win conditions. And if that doesn't end up happening, then you go to the 10th round, and whoever ends up winning that wins the game. But the loser gets a card to add to their hand that is out on the board that that token's placed on. So sometimes you want to lose a trick, or I call it a trick, lose a round to get a certain ability into your hand. And you kind of have to plan ahead a little bit. You want to play defense so that they don't run away with one of the colors, but then you're using cards that you need for your upcoming color that you want, because usually kind of splits between us two, who's going for red, who's going for yellow. Um, but yeah, I don't know, just something about it. I like it. I've enjoyed it both times that we've played it. But I don't know. Sometimes it feels like maybe it's just too high of a hill to climb at certain points. And just something like it just doesn't totally click for me that I like the manner of bidding, kind of going back and forth, but sometimes it's just like, oh, it's clear they have more than me. Or in reverse, I could just be like, I'm going to win this one because I have the higher numbers. And if that's for an instant win, then that's good. But um, also a little bit of luck as to what you draw.
Yeah, and this one's number four for me, so not that far off. We just had those last two swapped. And I kind of feel similarly. I think for me, this one, along with Ghost at Home, are kind of both below the other three a little bit. At least that's how I feel. And yeah, I think I enjoyed this one a little bit more than I did Ghost at Home. It still felt like you could do some cool things,
Yeah.
especially if you intentionally try to lose to gain some of those cards, some of those abilities felt cool. But yeah, there are times where it felt like yeah, I'm just drawing all these little cards and I can't stop them. And it kind of depends how those tokens are coming out. Sometimes, I think in the first game we played, kind of those red tokens or whatever that you went for, like, was like four in the, or was it
Yeah,
four in the first five or something?
I think so. Yeah,
Something like that. So they all came up pretty quickly. And I think um, maybe I should have tried to win
yeah,
something earlier or try to force you to spend some more to get those. Obviously, playing it, I think that was our first game, so not really getting a full feel of I should have maybe done some more there to try to force him to play cards, but yeah, it just felt like you had big cards, and even if I would have tried to stop you in that one, you could have played the big cards, and then it would have just come down to whatever was drawn kind of thing, and
yeah,
yeah, definitely another luck factor game of when your cards come out. But I think there's a little bit more meat on the bone on this one for me than Ghosts at Home, where
yeah.
yeah, that felt more like just pure chaos luck.
Mm,
And this one felt like you could do some planning, and if you see a certain card and you're like, okay, if I can win that card, I can utilize it in this way, kind of thing. You can make
yeah,
those little bit of plans potentially.
yeah, yeah. So what is your? So we got our five and four there. What is your number three?
My number three, this
It
one's
gets
tough, and this
tough.
is
It gets tough. These top
it,
three are so hard. I could switch them any
it,
day.
yeah, and that's why, like you said, I think if we had played, I'll just say my number three is Mr. Jack. If I played this one again, I could get maybe a better feel of how I think of this one. I think for me, this one has the most likely chance of, after another play, being like, okay, I'm actually gonna downgrade this one a little bit. But I think it does have a chance of going up a bit for me too. So it's kind of that one. There's like, I'll take kind of the medium to lower look at it just in case that would happen. But yeah, in this one, another two-player only game, and one of the players is playing the detective, the other one is Mr. Jack, and you are moving these kind of disc characters around this grid map, and they are either going to end up being lit up or they're going to be in kind of the shadows. And at the and what'll be happening is it'll kind of go back and forth between the players. You'll be moving those discs and wherever area, and then each one kind of has a special ability that they can do as well. And um, so yeah, each round or day or whatever, you'll do four of those. So each player will get to kind of move two. You'll kind of see what they all are. It's kind of a snake draft, and at the end of that four, there will be a check done for the Mr. Jack player, and they will have to say whether they were kind of in the light or in the shadows. And yeah, based on that, the other character gets some information because their whole gameplay is to try to figure out which one Mr. Jack is. And if he's in the shadows, then all the players or all the discs that are in the light currently obviously cannot be Mr. Jack. So it kind of can give them some extra information. So you're kind of attempting, as the Mr. Jack player, attempting to get them all in the same, while the other player is trying to kind of split them, ideally 50-50, because then you're kind of having the field of potential people that it could be each round. And then there's kind of some alternate win conditions. The gameplay we had of this, I felt like that just felt tough. I was the Mr. Jack player. It felt tough to try to kind of escape. Um,
Yeah.
the tutorial for this one on Board Game Arena made it feel much easier. But it's tough. It's tough. So I'd like to see you as the Mr. Jack player and see. I think you're usually better than me at these kind of games. So I would be very interested to see kind of how you ended up playing it and how that played out. And I think with more plays, like some of those powers that the individual characters have that they can do, I think those could be what makes or breaks the game. For
Mm,
me, is how you can maybe utilize those in sneaky ways.
yeah. Yeah, this one, I'm looking at it right now and I'm like, I don't agree with this, but I have it currently number one in my
Wow, he
rankings.
did have it number one.
But
I
yeah, I'm like,
didn't.
I could see it being number three as well,
I'll say
or
Pepper. I
two.
was way off then for you. Because this is the one that when you said, "Do you have any idea what I think is your number
Wow.
five?" And this was the one I was thinking. And I was
Wow.
like, I don't know what he thought of it.
I could see it becoming number five when you replay it because one of my issues with this is it feels like whatever you do, they can undo it. Because some of those character abilities are just so powerful, or they have so much that they can do to manipulate people and how to light them up. Uh, you can either do it by putting them in the light or having them right next to someone else. So it's like if you're trying to put certain characters in darkness to discover what they are, if you are the detective, it just feels very easy. And you were able to do it multiple rounds, even though there was a bit of a bit of a mess in the first round that exposed half of your people. But after that, you were able to really extend it for a long time. And so I'm like, I feel like the game could be hurt. So I think this is maybe the least stable of the games in my thoughts of it. But each of those character abilities does feel really awesome when you get to use it, and there's a good sneakiness to it, I imagined, from the Jack player. And there's just this shot in the dark. I can always just guess on a random person if
That's
it
true.
isn't going my way, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I can try and maybe win or lose based on if I guess correctly. Just
Yeah.
possibly randomly, you can win in the first round as the detective, and there's just a lot there, and it's Bruno Catala. I mean, I got to throw some respect on his name. He is the tiebreaker that puts this
Yeah.
at number one. But
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's where I could see this one, maybe if, after playing it. So I could see this one getting to number one for me. I think out of these games, I think it'd still be the lowest would be three.
yeah,
But
yeah,
for me, but yeah, I'm very interested in trying this one again.
yeah,
Probably the one I'm most interested in going back to, even though it's number
yeah,
three for me.
yeah. But my number three, I think we might be doing a flip-flop here. My number three is probably maybe the most solid of the games, the one most played. It is Don't Go In There. This one. I guess could be number one. I'm like, this one probably deserves to be number one. I know it the best. I have played it the most, and it really could be. It's a five-way tie here, or at least a three-way tie. Um, and yeah, it's kind of a worker placement game. It's weird to call it that. It doesn't feel like it's a worker placement game, but it is. You're going to these locations, these rooms in the spooky haunted house, and you're placing on a worker placement track. The further away you are from the top, the safer you are from the ghost dice that you'll be rolling when you kind of activate that location. But the farther back you are, the farther back in card claiming order you will be, so you won't be able to choose as quickly as the more dangerous spots. And the kind of core of the game is the cards, and they have negative points printed on them. Pretty much, you want the lowest score, so you do not want points. And it's kind of a set collection game. As you're getting cards into your hand, you're trying to create sets. Some of them mostly will remove points from you, or you'll get to discard some of your cards, therefore gaining less negative points. Um, and I mean, it's a good push your luck because you don't know exactly. You can see how many dice are going to be rolled at these locations, and you want a certain card. So do you really go to the topmost spot to get first pick? But I don't know. What if you roll? What if you roll four ghosts and then you got four ghosts on yourself? And at least the ghosts aren't one to one negative points, but there's a bit of competition there, and I think that's pretty important, that competition, to who has most or least ghosts, because the one who has the most ghosts is the only one who has negative points from one for every two ghosts. It's cool. Set collection is cool, but at the same time, I'm like, there is some keep away. There is some keep away in this game to the opponent, and I don't know. I don't know if in time if it's gonna feel maybe too hard to get certain things at certain points, just based on what cards are removed from the game and what cards come up, and you don't know what's actually going to come up. You could get a card, and maybe it ends up being kind of useless for you, and you can definitely get stuck with a lot of stuff. So I don't know right now, but I think it has maybe the best chance to be the most played for us for sure.
Yeah, I would agree on that point as well. And yeah, this one's my number two. I
Mm.
do really like this one, and yeah, like I said, this one. So only one of these that I've played in person, and it really was like, wow. I think thematically this one, I don't know what it was about it. I don't know if it's just the ghosts. Something about it just made me feel like this is a game I would really actually not mind having and playing and taking out at during Halloween. And then I found out, oh wait, it's on Board Game Arena, so I can play it for that. And yeah, it's kind of came or gave us this whole sort of idea of, oh, can we find some other ones that are sort of spooky? Maybe some people say, oh, these aren't spooky games. But yeah, these are kind of the other ones we came up with based on that idea. And yeah, I really like what it does, and I think it's a good, solid game of kind of that set collection and kind of that push your luck worker placement. I think it'll
Yeah.
just work together really nicely. And we played this one in person at like 4 players, and I thought that versus kind of now I've played it a couple times, 2 players with you. I think the player counts both felt really good because yeah,
Yeah.
it gives you a few more options, obviously, at kind of what cards will be in there, what will
Oh,
come
yeah.
out. So yeah, you might maybe that would negate kind of your maybe negative with it.
That's true. I guess
You'd
is
have
there
more of a
another
chance.
location or just more cards at each
I
place?
think it's the same amount of locations still, but I think there's more cards that you end up going through, if I
Oh,
remember right.
oh, okay.
So
Okay.
still the same mechanisms. I'm pretty sure that all stayed the same. And
Yeah.
then yeah, so you're just flipping the rooms more often, and
Oh, yeah.
so
That could help. That could help.
yeah,
Ooh, but your my number two and your number one, the Bloody Inn.
the Bloody Inn,
This
which
one
is
was,
one. I Is it Z from the Dice Tower likes
I
it?
think so. I think so.
Um, and yeah, it's it's kind of the other one outside of Don't Go In There. I feel like that was the second one where we were like, oh, that's another kind of, I don't know if it's necessarily spooky, but kind of that kind of, I
Yeah.
don't know, killer theme uh, for Halloween. So that was kind of the second one, and I really wanted to try it just because I'd heard of it, for a while, and it just sounded like an interesting little thing where you're kind of running this establishment, this inn, and you are potentially offing some of the customers or utilizing the customers to work for you. Um, and it just sounded like a funny, interesting theme
Yeah.
potentially. And I don't know that I'd say if it fully came through that way. There were definitely times where, and that's why I'm like, I feel like I'd like it some more in the future. The factor of killing some of the the people that were staying at your inn, and then kind of like having to you don't want to have you got to bury the bodies. You don't want to have them lying around if there are any you know authorities around.
Yeah.
So sometimes you are so stuck in there that you have to either then hire that, some authorities might come up in kind of a future round, and you're like, well, now I've got to either hire them or I've got to off them. And then it just kind of turns into this,
Yeah.
oh no, now I got to do that again. And then all of a sudden you got 5 bodies laying there and you got to, you got to bury them at some point. And that part did feel fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I had
I
that
don't know about maybe
experience.
the kind of higher, like the gaining the cards to then utilize them. I don't know that like came through as thematic, but the killing part definitely came
Yeah.
through as thematic and like, oh no, they're coming to get me. Uh,
Hmm. Hmm.
but I did like the part where you kind of got those people coming in and you what was the action called? You take them into your hand, pretty much, yeah,
Yeah. You bribe
gain
them.
their allegiance.
You bribe them.
You bribe them, you bribe them, and then like I really, and maybe there's other games that do this, but I liked the kind of the cards are a currency in this game,
Mhm.
and if you use a specific color card for a specific action, usually you would kind of like normal things. If you're making a payment in a game, usually you lose those
Yeah.
resources. But in this case, if you use one that is good at that thing, or it corresponds to that thing, you get that card back, so you can kind of continue using them for that same
Yeah.
action every time you do it, as long as you keep that card.
Yeah.
I really liked that in the game, and I'm like, oh, how could you use this in other games? And maybe there are other games. Let me know in the comments below if there are other games that kind of use cards as a currency and have kind of ones that um, allow you to do discounted actions. I think that's just a really
Mhm.
cool mechanism.
Yeah. Yeah, like the cops there, they have weapons, so they'd be good at offing. And so I was able to get two of them for cheap, and I had like a body there, and I didn't want to get rid of them to bury the body because that wouldn't be efficient because they're not good at burying bodies. They're good at other things, and cops
Right.
would come up in the lineup, and I'm like, I have this body here. I don't want to bury him right now. I only have two actions around. It's so tight.
That part is
So then I'm
tight.
like, I have the guns. I can take out these cops for free. So then I just take out two cops. Then I have two bodies, two more bodies, and then more cops come out, exactly like you described. And I'm like, that felt thematic. Like all these movies you see or stories where they just get deeper and deeper into the thing, and they're like, oh, how do I get out of this? So it put me on the straight and narrow. Now I'm like, that is not the way of life, right there. I've experienced it in this game. Uh,
Yes.
but yeah, and the scoring as well is kind of cool where you have a limit of
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of currency that you can have. It's a track on the board, so when you bury them, you get coins. You can get coins other ways, but that's the big way to do it. And you get coins. You can give them to your opponent too. I guess there's probably some strategy there as to when you put them in your opponent's
Yeah. You bury them
basements
under
and
their
yours.
houses.
Yep. And once you hit 40 coins, money, you can't gain anymore. So if you put a 20 value there, it's like, oh, I'm already at 40, so you get nothing. And but you can take an action to kind of turn those into checks or whatever, which are kind of like a 10 to 1 deal there. Drain down so you can hold some more current dollars there. So I'm like, that's kind of cool. You kind of have to manage that, and you can't just
Mhm.
spam away these things. You have to take a little break, transfer that over, and do that. So another neat thing that I haven't seen too much in games, but
Yeah, that's true.
yeah,
That's a good point.
cool one. It definitely lived up to, I guess, a unique experience that I was expecting for it.
Yeah, I agree. I liked it thematically, and it was. I could see some people maybe thinking, "Oh, it's just kind of that's kind of a dark thing, whatever." But yeah, it made me think of kind of a movie. It's more of maybe a dark comedy kind of
Yeah.
movie where it's like, "Oh my gosh," and then they throw in the body, and I don't know, maybe a Tucker and Dale versus Evil kind of thing. It's not quite that because they aren't actually intentionally
Yeah. Yeah.
going after the kids, but um, kind of more of a comedic thing like that is
Yeah.
kind of how I envision it. Maybe not everyone would think of it that way, but
Yeah.
yeah, I had a bloody good time with that one.
Ooh, good.
So yeah,
Good.
let us know in the comments below if there are any spooky games you play every Halloween. If there are any on Board Game Arena specifically.
Yeah.
We kind of tried to look for some more. There might be a couple more that we're
Yeah.
kind of on the edge on, but I don't know if there's anything that stuck out maybe as much as these. And maybe you'd argue not all these are fully Halloweeny, but I thought they were pretty good
Yeah.
picks.
Yeah.
So
I think so.
yeah, yeah. Let us know. Let us know if you disagree with that. If you think any one of these is like, I wouldn't say that. But otherwise, we hope to see you on the next one. And as always, don't forget to keep on nibbling on our content.